Tell me about the most unhealthy brain you've ever seen.
For a 15-year-old, he's a 15-year-old boy who brought weapons to school, got arrested. His parents picked him up from jail. And sometime between 6 o'clock that night and 8 o'clock the next morning, he murdered his mom and dad. And then he went to Thurston High School in Springfield, Oregon, and shot 25 people. They scanned him for his trial. His brain was so awful. Like, I'd never seen a 15-year-old that had a brain so damaged. And his life reflected it.
What did you see in his brain?
He either had anoxia at birth, lack of oxygen, a severe infection, or something was poisoning his brain. Could have been an infection. I mean, it's a major cause of psychiatric problems. Nobody knows about it.
This is this is what the fuck I'd be saying, man. This is what the fuck I'd be saying. When I say, so you guys have noticed that when I'm going in on people, I'm a lot more calmer now. And I don't go off as much. Like, even when I was calling that other dude retarded the other day, the video I just posted, I was still very calm, and I kind of tried to, because, like, I understand what's going on, man. Wait, I can't even get my water bottle open. This is crazy. As you guys saw in the thumbnail, I was basically having a conversation with the dude. That dude doesn't know I make YouTube videos, and for right now, it's probably better that he doesn't know. So I'm not gonna, put the whole conversation as the thumbnail. But you guys noticed in the thumbnail, I essentially told him, because he basically said that before he's 30, he's gonna yeet himself, right? But I replied with, you got strong energy, man. By the time you're 30, you're going to look back like right to this day and you're going to laugh, man. You ain't going to be dead by 30. So he sent me an article from a book that he was reading, a chapter in the book. The dude was talking about how while mental illness is often linked to like a contributing factor of suicide, is also underlooked, as well as the external factors that lead to it. I've been saying for a while now in my videos that people's ability to learn has been impaired. And I think people think that I'm joking, or maybe people just think that I'm like exaggerating how big the issue is. Two things I pointed out in that screenshot, okay? Nobody focuses on why mental illnesses and why mental impairments exist and what causes them, right? For whatever reason, people kind of just gloss over the cause, probably because if you start looking at what causes mental impairments, you then have to question, how did we get to this point? So there's two key factors that cause mental illnesses. One everybody knows, it's chemical imbalance. So stuff like depression and anxiety and ruminism, etc., that's caused by chemical imbalance. You can link that chemical imbalance to a lot of different things in modern society. There's a lot of things that cause a chemical imbalance in modern society, from the food that we eat, from the water that we drink, from the air that we breathe. It's poison everywhere. But something that I never see talked about is the second underlying cause for a lot of mental impairments, and that's the reproductive systems of the parents themselves being, damaged. And I don't just mean the mother, because it's easy to point to the mother and say, which parent has a damaged reproductive system, because the mother is the one that carries the embryo for 9 months. But male sperm is important to the equation as well. The male can also have a damaged reproductive system. And if you got two damaged people reproducing the baby's going to come out fucked up with like autism and, Asperger's and all this other shit, right? So, but you still can't underestimate free will. I mean, considering it took the dude 15 years to finally go off and just start murking people, he showed amazing self-restraint, especially when you consider that when you are a teenager, you have a lot more, you think more of your reptilian brain. You're a lot more impulsive and you really don't calculate your actions that much. Now, of course, the legal system is not going to show him any mercy, despite the fact that they proved that his brain was damaged. Because if you kill your own parents, we live in a fucked up world, man. As one guy accurately pointed out a couple of days ago in my comments, a parent can kill their child and have no real consequences. I mean, half the human population right now is actually fighting for the right to legally murder their own child and not get in trouble for it. And a lot of states have already passed that, yes, a parent can do that. If they want to kill their own child, they can do it. It's perfectly legal, right? So it's really fucked up. A parent can kill their child and have no real consequences, and they're actually praised in society for being strong, brave women. But if a child decides to kill their parents, even if they have a justified reason for doing so, maybe the parent was abusing them or whatever, if you kill your parent, you're getting a life sentence. If you kill both of your parents, you're getting a life sentence without parole. Modern society treats a child killing their own parents as the equivalent of killing a peace officer. Those are the two crimes that if you do them, you're getting a life sentence no matter what. You kill a cop, you're getting a life sentence. You kill your parents, you're getting a life sentence. You kill both of your parents, you're getting a life sentence without the possibility of parole. And, you know, even if you got a fucked up brain, and even if you got a justified reason for doing so. The main reason I'm saying this, guys, is because there's a lot of people walking around that have a fucked up reproductive system, and as a result, they're reproducing children that have fucked up brains. Okay? I vaguely mentioned in a previous video there was the lead poison epidemic in the 1960s. Guys, the people that had lead poisoning in the 1960s, they still went on to make babies. And a lot of the children that these parents from the 60s birthed, they're your parents right now. So think about what the fuck I just said. We know what lead poisoning did to people. We know it damaged their reproductive system. We know it fucked with their chemicals. They then went on to reproduce with other lead poisoned babies, other people that had lead poisoning, and those were your parents. Basically, I mean, somebody born in the 1960s, that would probably be your grandparents right now. So, they went on to reproduce, you know, your parents that have a fucked up immune system, a fucked up reproductive system, and then they went on to, you know, reproduce you. The Toontown community way back in the day got extremely angry at me, because this is what the sheep will do, man. You tell them the truth, they get angry at you. They never stop to hear what you're saying, and they never fact check anything that you're saying. They just reply with emotion, they get angry, they get ready to attack you. That's why you really shouldn't talk to people that don't get it, because they don't want to get it, right? But people got angry at me because how dare you imply that autism was physically caused by something? It just came out of nowhere and we don't know what caused it. Actually, we do know what caused it. It's a combination of chemical imbalance as well as these lead babies reproducing with other lead babies, and you know, I mean, this is a generational effect, man. Something that I've observed with the human body, if the human body is aware that there's something wrong with it, then yes, it will begin to try to fix and repair itself. But it has to know there's something wrong with it first. You think this guy ever knew he had brain damage? I mean, he probably said it jokingly, but nobody took him seriously, right? You think your parents know that their reproductive system has been damaged and fucked with? Of course not. So, and a lot of people just don't know, man. When I be talking about how people have an impaired ability to learn, guys, I'm not just making a joke. I'm not cracking jokes at retarded people. No, that's not what I'm doing. I'm saying that there's something seriously wrong with a lot of the people that are walking around, man. And I think it was intentional. I think that the motherfuckers that made all this shit, I think they knew 100% intentionally that it would cause damage to the reproductive system. You know what I'm saying? You guys can call this a conspiracy, whatever, man. There's way too much fucking evidence to prove that this shit is intentional, man. They knew what the fuck they were doing. As I explained in my video, I don't remember what it was called, but I made a video where, how to rule an elite maintain their power. And I cover in that video how if you're a ruler, it's much easier to rule over people that have a damaged ability to learn and a damaged ability to organize and strike. It's much easier to rule over those people than to rule over a population that's capable of critical thinking, who can accurately identify who their enemy is. My inner voice is saying too much, so I'm going to stop talking about that. But yeah, man, it's just, you know, this is why I don't just go off on people the way I used to, man. Because those of y'all that know me as Frizzy Dog and Pop, man, I was a kid when I made those videos, man. I didn't know anything about anything. And as I told the guy in the thumbnail, you know, it took me dating a chick that had some problems for me to really start thoroughly researching this stuff. And you know, I seem to have a type. I seem to be attracted to crazy women, so she wasn't the last chick I dated like that. The chick that I'm interested right now shows a lot of similarities to that first chick that I dated that was like that, man. But I know how to handle these things a bit differently. You know, I'm older now, even though I look young. I'm older now. I have a lot more knowledge. I went to the source and I have a larger sample size. And I'm not making this video to get you people to feel sympathetic for the sheeple or for people that have an impaired ability to learn. The reason I'm making this video is the next time you're interacting with the orcaloids and you just wonder why their thought process seems fucked, most of the time it's free will, but a lot of the times, yeah, they really do have a fucked ability to learn from birth, and you know, it is what it is. Now, if water contains oxygen, what was causing the brain to have a lack of oxygen? Either his skull wasn't getting the fluids that it needed because the brain floats around in water, or maybe his brain itself somehow wasn't absorbing the oxygen in the water. It doesn't really matter. I don't give a fuck about this guy. But yeah, man, this video, I'm just going to put this out there because nobody on the internet talks about, you know, how parents have damaged reproductive systems and that leads to their children having fucked up systems themselves. Their brains can't properly absorb the water in their bodies. You know, it's just crazy. Again, this video isn't made to get you guys to show mercy to the sheeple, but like in case you guys ever have children or y'all have a significant other that shows problems, this may help you understand, you know, why they are the way they are in the first place, and maybe that may help you find a solution to that problem. Now, I will say this: having a damaged brain does not block you 100% from seeing the truth. You got to put in a lot more effort. But just because I'll use a metaphor. As long as you find the tree of life, it doesn't matter that you've already eaten from the tree of knowledge and good and evil. Your life can still be saved. Catch you guys in the next video. Oh, I'm pointing to the wrong camera. Catch you guys in the next video.